All right. Que paso, vatos? Thanks for joining me for my 7th month Spanish MIA update. So this month, I was able to do about 45 hours. Got me up above 200 hours of total input time between Anki, listening, and I started reading this month. So stay tuned if you want to hear about all my thoughts and struggles that I've been through. But for those of you who don't know, MIA basically just mass immersion approach, and I'm learning Spanish through mostly listening and reading only. So, kind of, we'll get started here. I'm going to start off with kind of like what my listening has been like, my listening practice, what I've been doing, and kind of this has been my real struggle this past month. Uh, I'm just losing focus on everything. I'm at this weird point where I I can't understand like native, so I put on like Telemundo. I tried watching the La Liga, Spanish Cup or whatever it was on Telemundo, and man, that was a struggle. It was just kind of way over my head. Uh, News. I try to watch the news every now and then. It's still kind of the same way. Uh, but then again, I try and watch some of this like beginner content, and it's just like so boring and dull. And then I try and reach up to go to like some more intermediate advanced, and I'm just so inconsistent with how well I'm understanding everything. So it's been like rather frustrating for me to do that. But so I'm still doing it. I still had a good amount of time. So kind of like the video I wanted to share with you guys was one of the more recent ones I watched. It was El Crimen in Mexico. So it was the No Itos podcast, and I was probably above like 50% comprehension, maybe a little more, like 60, but I wouldn't go anything above 60% uh, comprehension for that one. It's just like strange. I just lose focus when I'm listening, and I'm starting to notice now I'm like missing like the words. Like I hear him say stuff, but I just don't know what they mean. And when you kind of only hear it once, it's like rather difficult to kind of pick up on it. And they talk in a real natural tone, and there's no visual input, so it's kind of hard. Uh, Kind of on that note, though, is that my podcast listening ability has gone up. I think like last time in my 6 month update, I just started listening to him for like a week or two, so I'm probably just more accustomed to them, I guess you could say. And I mean, obviously my level's improving, but I haven't really felt like a huge leap and bound from my 3 months to 6 months. I think I may be approaching some of the diminishing returns as far as listening go. Another thing I'm starting to notice, I'm starting to become more, I call it verb aware, is like, at first I had problems with dejar and salir, but now it comes pretty natural, and then there's a bunch of other stuff uh, that I'm just becoming more and more aware of that I wasn't before. And I'll kind of watch like some videos and like, hey, you need to use these verbs in these situations, and now I'm slowly starting to pick up on them. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna keep going on this. I'm in this like love hate relationship with Peppa Pig. So it's like this little pig cartoon that's made for at least like toddler age, and I love it and I hate it because it's so just kind of like boring and lame, but at the same time, it's such a good. Uh, they call it I+1, right? It's such a good I+1 content, and they'll keep repeating it like Charcos de Lodo. I think it's like muddy puddles, right? Just something silly that they say, and they keep repeating it over and over again, right? So if you kind of watch it more consistently, uh, you'll be able to pick up on some of the words that they've been using, and they do a really good job of teaching it to you. And like the main words that you don't know, like Tracos de Lodo, is what you're gonna learn about that little episode, and they're pretty short, like little 5 minute skits or whatever, and it's all free, of course. It's on YouTube. Uh, But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with listening. I don't have any big plans. Uh, Started the Magic School Bus in Spanish. That's probably what I'm gonna watch, kind of like TV show wise next month. If you guys have any other suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. All right, so I also started reading this month. I got this book, Short Stories in Spanish, and this has been probably been the most exciting thing I've done this past month. Uh, so basically, kind of what it is, it's like these real basic short stories, like 6 pages long, right? And they have these words highlighted, and those are kind of like the key vocab words, and it teaches you all of them at the end. But about half of these you're able to kind of like figure out in context, which is pretty neat. And it has the questions at the end as well to see how well you're understanding it. So I read this. It said it's made for like upper beginners to lower intermediates, I think, or just for beginners now that I'm reading it. But I enjoyed it. I understood probably about 70% of it, I would imagine. At least I got most of the questions right. It's usually 5 questions, and you usually got 4 or 5 right at the end. Maybe 3 in a story or 2, but that also kind of depends on how focused I was in reading it. Um, but yeah, this has been a huge help for me because Spanish is spoken so quickly, and this really slowed it down. Uh, I'll point it out when I show you kind of like my times. But when I first started reading it, it was like I read it like pretty quickly, almost like under 2 minutes a page. But then like after about a story or two, I really started to slow down and take in the language and really see how like pretty and beautiful the language actually is. Uh, and a lot of things also stood out to me more. I think also partially the verbs stood out to me as well, more in reading, and then I can also translate it back to listening as well. Um, Also, the like reflexive and like indirect object pronouns, right? The like lo and las, les. This book uses it in like a real simple form, and it was real easy for me to understand. I actually had to go and like watch some more traditional style Spanish classroom videos that really helped me uh, understand it. And I was able to go watch a YouTube video about how like the word low, how it's used, and the reflexive content, and then go back to it in the book and be able to see it in action. So it was pretty cool. I'm gonna keep reading. I got a couple of books, haven't really started any of them yet. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. The reading has been a huge help for me, and I highly suggest it if you are anywhere close to me. So next, I'm gonna kind of go over the Dreaming Spanish like guideline little layout thing that he did, because this is kind of what I'm following. If anyone else is interested to see kind of what my guidelines or rules that I've been doing, gonna go over my Anki times and also kind of my time tracker, so you can check it out and see how well I've been doing, where I've been committing all my times and resources and stuff. All right, we shoot on over to that. All right, so this is the language learning roadmap by Dreaming Spanish, and this has kind of been my guideline. So basically, it kind of tells you how many hours you have to commit. First off, if you want to go to his, I think you have to just go and sign up for his like subscription mailing list, and he'll send this out to you as like a gift, right? Uh, he's not gonna spam you. I've only had like 1 or 2 emails from him, and I've been doing this for like 6 months, so don't worry about that if you're shy of doing it because of those things. Uh, but basically, he says that you need to do 1,500 hours to become fluent. So here I am way down here at this little in between 150 hours to 300. So
300, you can understand patient speakers, which I don't think I can understand patient speakers yet. And you can follow adapted topics, which I do think I'm at. Uh, and plus, he kind of goes down here and gives you like little like tips, what you can do, what you need to do, and kind of where you're at in your learning. So, uh, here I am. You can now understand people if they stay within certain topics. They will need to talk to you in a way that's appropriate for you, but you know many words. You don't rely exclusively on visual information. You still aren't completely used to the sounds of the language. You have a good intuition for basic grammar like sentence order. You can sometimes feel it when other learners make mistakes. It sounds wrong somehow. You can now quite say a few words that will already be useful when traveling in a country. And then you kind of go to the next level. Uh, you can understand a patient native speaker. You'll miss some words, but the speaker can explain the meaning to you without resorting to translation. I'm not going to go into too much about this, but basically, I feel like I'm somewhere in between here. Uh, and basically, he's all about you need to listen, 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 listen. I may have started reading a little bit too early, but I don't think I reached up uh, too far above my level as far as reading goes. He also says not to start really talking until you're at 700 hours. I'm gonna try and follow that for the most part. We'll see. I figured I was gonna do at least a year of just listening, and then we'll kind of go from there to see where I'm at. Do a couple tutors, uh, and then maybe see what they think I should keep doing. I'm in this for the long haul, so I'm not too focused to hurry up and start speaking. I don't need to be anywhere in 8 months or a year or like travel anytime soon. So I'm just being real patient, taking my time for this, and kind of enjoying the process, I guess you could say. So next, let's kind of get over to my times. You can see. All right, so here's my month of August. I was able to do 45 hours, hour and a half a day. That was also kind of like rather difficult for me because work's been popping off, been having to been having to work extra every single day, and I'm trying to get in a routine of working out again. So really, kind of cutting into my Spanish learning time, but I still feel pretty happy with that. I shoot it for 50. It got 45. It's good enough, but hopefully I'll be able to at least keep this 45 to 50 uh, mark again for September. Um, so yeah, let's kind of go up and look at the reading. I started reading the 10th of August. And you kind of see how my minutes per page like went down, and then I slowly kind of crept back on up once I really started to slow down and kind of enjoy the reading more and actually soak it in. I thought that was pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep doing this because it's like pretty tedious. I have to like time it on my watch and then count how many pages. So it really wasn't. I don't know. I don't think it was worth it to do that. Honestly, took a little vacation here in the last of August. I was still able to do my Anki cards though because those things suck if you miss a day. Like right here, I missed a day in September, and I think it was like 350 reviews, something like that. It was pretty unbearable. Um, but yeah, so I want to try and do another 45, 50 hours next month. I should be able to do it. I think I'm on pace already. Uh, Looks like I'm doing about an hour and a half a day. So we'll see. We'll keep it up. All right, let's go check out my. So lastly, we'll check out my Anki. Uh, like I said, I was able to hit a 67-day streak, and I missed it just because I forgot. Uh, that was kind of disappointing. I was hoping to at least get 100 days, but just got to keep trying. So also, I looked up past this last month. I actually looked up how the program actually worked because I was just hitting like 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 3, and actually learning like, oh, here's the advantage of doing 1 2 3. and actually kind of judging it, and also slowed down. There's like a timer option, and I'll put the timer on there. That way I know I at least spend 10 to 15 seconds on a card. Uh, what else? So this 5,000 deck, right? It's kind of preloaded, and I'm really starting to see the disadvantages to it. So kind of what I've been doing now, since I'm like wasting so much time on the words that are the same in English as they are in Spanish, like motor. Like I don't need to relearn that motor is the same in Spanish, right? So I've been suspending those cards. Um, Hopefully that'll kind of like pay off in the long term. Uh, and then all the ones that are like uh, destination, right? It's destination in English. So I'm gonna start suspending those as well. We'll see how much it helps me out. But I'm like halfway through the deck now. Let's see, future due. So yeah, I'm just under. I'm 18 under being halfway through the deck. It hasn't been too bad, but now it's just kind of getting kind of frustrating because I'm starting to notice that half of them are all these like super easy words. Um, I don't know. I'm like halfway through. I'm gonna finish it. I should finish it around like February, March, depending on how much I work at it. So you can also see from my, let's kind of scroll on down, my answer button. So I was sitting around like 67% like all time, right? Before I actually learned how the program worked, and then now that jumped up to 73%, and the young and mature are also increasing as well. So I'm retaining all the information better. Um, so yeah, if you haven't actually learned how to do the program right, I think it was a Matt versus Japan channel that was talking about, you're going to spend, a couple hundred hours in this program. You need to learn how it works. Uh, so that's kind of what prompted me to do it. So if you're kind of just starting out or you've never actually looked to see how Anki works, you should probably do that. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this month, guys. Stay tuned for the next month. If you guys have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments. Please like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you next month. Thanks. Bye.